Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
It's Friday the 15th. That means, nothing as far as I know.
It means it's time for a standard edition of the BumbleKast Q&A.
Yeah, it's the Ides of April, I guess. I don't know.
I don't remember that happening to the Easter Bunny. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
To lamb chop.
Yay, that's enough silliness. Let's go ahead and get into these questions. I'm sure they're not silly at all.
Where do these questions come from this week, sir?
This week, they all come to us courtesy of YouTube. And many of them are many months, if not over a year old. So, we have many questions. We get many questions. We also have many questions. But this one here is from Anderson D. Which demigod do I need to pray to for Shadow to use a gun or ride a motorcycle again? I just imagine he has an arsenal of weapons gathering dust in a secret bunker somewhere along with his motorcycle. Is that why he's so grumpy? Maybe he lost the keys.
Where's that damn fourth ignition key?
Why does he need 4? I don't know.
One for each bike, Kyle.
Oh, right. He's got to have 4.
I don't foresee him ever using realistic or semi-realistic firearms again. But maybe they'll put a wisp on in his hand. As for the bike, I don't know, man. That seemed to endure between a couple games, so maybe we'll see the bike again.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Sure, he can run real fast. I don't know why he needs the bike, but it just looks cool, you know?
No.
And Shadow is nothing if not, like, just wanting to look cool.
Plus, I think the god you have to pray to is Bacchus, because if any god is going to be the patron of riding around on a high-speed vehicle with firearms, it's probably going to be the drunk one.
Here's one from Vlad C. What is Dr. Starline's IQ? If you don't have an exact number, is there a range?
He totally claims it's 300 and on par with Eggman's, but he won't provide any of the paperwork. He said he took the test, but he won't actually say where he took the test or under what circumstances.
Well, you think he would have studied for it, to be fair, which kind of undermines the point of the IQ test, because the fact that you can study for it to improve your IQ means that IQ is not an actual measure of intelligence. But, whatever. Here's one from anti-nuclear activists. What if team of cream, cheese, and Gemerald?
Fun team. Wholesome team. Unstoppable team.
Wholesome right up until you're on the opposite end. Oh boy.
I put cheese and Gemerald don't take out have to answer to cream, so I mean.
And here's one from Snowflake Flaker. Are all black arms actually siblings, or do they just refer to themselves as quote-unquote brothers as an affectionate term? I just thought that technically Eclipse couldn't actually be related to Shadow since Black Doom is gone.
Now this is like pretty much entirely headcanon. But I assumed that the black arms didn't really have sapience. They had sentience enough to be a functional army, but they were all kind of a hive mind and an extension of Black Doom's will. So your standard issue grunts weren't going to refer to each other as brother or sister or anything because they didn't have any sense of affection or individuality. They just kind of were meat robots when you get down to it. I could be wrong. Like, if SEGA wants to correct me on that, by all means. I don't think they will since they're all dead now, but that was the thing I was operating under. Eclipse was unique in that he was designed to have that sapience, that individuality, and the inherent desire to protect the hive manifested in a sense of family devotion. And since he and Shadow were both of Black Arm's blood, he rationalized it as brother. So as far as Eclipse is concerned, sure, they're family. But as far as the rest of the Black Arms would go, they would just kind of be grunting, vaguely aware animal things.
All right, here's this one from Pidgeotamer. Bumbly Umbly, how are you all?
I'm entertained by Bumbly Umbly.
I'm very good now, yes. Bumbly Umbly is delicious. sounds yum-ly. Would you mind naming one unique aspect or detail you like from each continuity / spinoff, namely the cartoons, comics, Fleetway, Archie, IDW, and the games themselves? Feel free to comment any spinoffs I'm missing.
Oh Lord. All right, let's go chronologically by medium. So, Adventures of.
Yeah. There's a lot to dislike about Adventures of, but there's things to like about it too.
I mean, the Supersonic Search and Smash Squad is fun. Scratch, Grander, Coconuts, they have a nice Three Stooges gimmick.
I mean, Robotnik's kind of incredible. And the voice alone, I think, is what makes him.
Yeah, I can't fault that, really.
No. He is fantastic.
It is a tour de force in its own right.
Absolutely, yes. He is having so much fun playing that character. And it's delightful.
Satiam, there's a lot to pick from, but
I'm
going to just say the theme song, because that endures, man. That tells you everything you need to know about the series. It gets you pumped for each episode. It's accompanied with a cool adventure each time. It's a good 90s theme song.
It definitely fits. I love it. I do quite enjoy it. I also just like how it fleshed out kind of Sonic's existence, you know? Because at that point, we'd only had Sonic 1, Sonic 2. We'd never really seen anything beyond just him, and then with Sonic 2 with Tails. So to kind of build on that and actually introduce, new characters and make the world feel more lived in was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a lot of good stuff about Satiam, but we're picking one thing.
Right.
Per thing. Underground, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of the triplets and the different walks of life that they had and that friction it brought to the trio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Underground's interesting. I haven't watched enough of it really to just pick one aspect of it, but honestly, I think there are things that should come back from it. I think it would be interesting to see some of that integrated into the modern continuity. I think he could have some fun with it.
I mean, Aether existed in 2 incarnations, so
true.
Maybe he could make the leap. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. What was that? Sonic X, Bokun.
I was going to say Chaotix, but yeah.
That too, yeah. I don't know why Eggman has a Muppet serving him, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Why not? I don't know. He's got all sorts of weird things who've served him before, so whatever. It's fine.
Sonic Boom. Oh, God, how do you pick? The voice cast and how much fun they had with that. Like, you could write a fun script, sure, but they sold every single episode they were in.
Mm-hmm. Sticks. That's mine.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of encapsulated all that.
And she's a very different character from what had come before. We've never had a character quite like her before. So I think having her, I wish you could would make the jump from Boom to other stuff as well, because you could have a lot of fun with her just outrageousness.
And I guess for Prime it would have to be, and then you just put in like a dial tone here for a second. Let's see, for comics, for Archie Sonic, it was just the weird pastiche of it all.
The absolute madness.
Yeah, like, sure, it wasn't really very Sonic-y by some points, but part of the joy I had with the series was making it all fit together and still feel Sonic-y. It was
right.
And I guess that by that same token, same thing for Fleetway Sonic is it just kind of did its own thing with a lot of the tropes of comic stories from the region of the time, and
yeah, right.
Sonic was present, and it led to some wild and fun stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can kind of make fun of it nowadays. Look back on it, and it's like some of it's rather silly or quaint. But other times, whew, it got real. And it was surprising and exciting when that happened.
Brotherhood of Metallics will always be the coolest thing in the world.
Ooh, yeah. Yep. Definitely. Do we want to count pre and post reboot separate for Archie? Nah. Okay. Nah. You tooted your own horn enough as it is. We haven't even talked about IDW.
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to pick. Well, maybe Tangle and Whisper getting their miniseries within like the first year.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Like for two originals to gain that much notoriety that fast to facilitate something like that happening still boggles the mind. So,
yeah. It took like a good 2 years for a character to get their own solo series for the original book.
Mm-hmm. So, and that was game character.
And that was, it was Sally.
No, was it Sally?
Yeah, it was Sally. Well,
and that was still, like, Sally was like, that was a marketing thing. She was still fairly prominent.
Right. So. Yeah. Yeah. This is like a completely different thing to have brand new characters, not from anything else.
Yeah. They had no cartoon to back them up. They had no merchandise. Well, when did the merch come out? Was it kind of before concurrent? Maybe
it was like concurrent. Yeah. It was all.
So their meteoric rise, just wow.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Like it. This is someone's asking about the OVA. The OVA.
Oh yeah.
The OVA is a lot of fun. It's definitely weird, like coming from the Western version of Sonic and actually seeing more of the Japanese side of things was a trip at the time.
I think it also kind of cemented Metal Sonic as the badass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay. Now I get you. Now I get it. Oh. Metal Sonic. You freaking rule, buddy. Great stuff there. And then the movies, the new movies. I haven't seen the newest one yet, but the original. I like that it's a fresh take.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I think it's a fresh take, but it's also incorporating a lot of, recognizable stuff. I'm glad that they reworked his design because we wouldn't even be sitting here talking about mentioning that there's a second movie if they didn't. And yeah, just like that, it's fresh and new. Are there any other spin-off? Is there any other spin-off material?
I'm sure there is. I mean, there's the old Japanese manga. There's the French comic.
Yeah. I don't know much about either of those. Other than Amy being in the manga and apparently also appearing in early concept art for Sonic. So she goes way back to pretty much the beginning. Same with Vector and a few other characters too. Wow. Yeah, just all good. It's all good. Here's a question from the Mobian Queen. Hi, Ian. Will there ever be an IDW version of the complete Sonic the Hedgehog comic encyclopedia from the Archie comics? If so, what will the differences be and what would be similar? This is my favorite book ever from the Archie Sonic series. I even made my own extended version for the post-Genesis wave.
Good for you.
Wow.
I remember...
It's a lot of work.
Back in the day. I remember back in the day what I pitched was that the super special magazines that we would put out, new articles and updated articles for you to clip out and put with your book, but that never came to be.
Mm-hmm.
As for an IDW version of it, on the one hand, I feel like it's too early. And on the other hand, it would be mostly like the modern Sonic lore. And that needs to be finalized on Sega's end more so first, I would think. I would love to put such a book together, but it would, at this point, it would basically be, here's all the game lore plus the IDW stuff on the side, which is a perfectly fine concept for a book. I absolutely would love to see it happen, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Darn. Here's one from Peter W. Did Kyle and Ian ever watch the Nostalgia Critic? More specifically, his reviews of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sad AM?
I know I saw that episode in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And I seem to remember we were in agreement over Adventures of and Sad AM.
I was a regular Nostalgia Critic watcher back in 15 almost years ago now.
God.
I mean, all the more recent stuff I've definitely been like, okay. And, but, you know, there's some stuff I look back on as kind of, you know, still kind of funny. But also, like, I kind of realized he was just going way over the top about stupid stuff, which was the whole idea. I mean, I get it, but at this point, I'm kind of burnt out. So, but yeah, I did see those reviews, and I thought he was way too harsh on Adventures of, but, you know, that's just me. He was right about Sad AM, though. And before we take a quick break, we got a question here from Craigamation983. Is the Sonic X universe and others underground that are connected to the old Prime Zone get deleted or changed? Also, are the games the Prime Zone now?
In the context of the old Archie series, they all got blipped out by the Super Genesis wave. Just whoop, gone. Everything clean slate. No worries about who owns what, where. It's just boom, new, fresh thing. But that book is dead, so that doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, yeah, you would count the games as the core reality. And as far as official parallel universes go, as far as I'm aware, that's Blaze, the classic Divergent timeline, maybe the movie universe. I don't know if they're going to even bother crossing those over, but that's it.
Yep. All right.
Imaginary World might count as something else, but I figure that's kind of it's in conjunction with Sonic's dimension.
Sure. I don't know, man. Prime Zone is whatever zone you want it to be, buddy. Personally, I like Hydro City. Or, no, I'm not going to say Hydrocity. No.
That's why we are friends.
It's not Hydrocity. No other level in any of the Sonic games is named that way. There's no other level that's named that way. No, it's not Hydrocity. It's not a pun. It's a place. It's a city of water. Thank you very much. We'll fight on this. Anyway. That's going to do it for this break, because we're back with more Bumblecast. Here's a question from Michael B. What does the PXE in 3437 PXE Silver's future stand for?
Post Zorda event.
Zorda,
however you pronounce it.
Zorda. That was PXE. That's specifically an Archie thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, there ain't no freaking Zorda in Sonic 06. Could you imagine if there was? Oh, boy.
No, the Zorda were the weird brain squids that nuked the planet with gene bombs.
Yes, I know. I know. Freaking great value Jack Kirby shit. Kirkland's signature, Stan Lee. God. Dr. Thunder equivalent of Chris Claremont. Sonic was like, can we have Jack Kirby? We have Jack Kirby at home.
I was not ready for that. Goodness me.
I did not even plan for that. It just came out. Here's a question from Geo Knuckles. If Sonic was recast as Power Rangers, what dinosaurs would you give to each character, including Silver, Big, Vector, and Tangle?
Oh, okay, so that's 4 out of 5, and I guess Sonic has to be the 5th. So
I guess.
Goodness.
Well, here's the thing. You give Tangle the big dino monkey. You give Vector the big crocodile-esque dino. Big's the big cat.
What are you talking about, man? We're talking the original dinosaurs here.
Oh, okay. Are you actually thinking about the dinos or the actual original dinosaurs? Oh, okay. Fine, whatever.
Well, we can't really do color coding because that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic is the biggest butt kicker. He's kind of the leader, so I guess we'll technically give him Jason, so he'd be driving the T-Rex. Let's see. Vector, big. Tangle, I guess, is the most gymnastic one of them, so we'll give her Kimberly, the pterodactyl, which was more of a pterodon, but we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, well, you know. They're robots, dude. They're not real.
Vector, I guess, is the only one beyond Sonic who was shown to... No. Okay, revising. Vector is the only one with any kind of competent leader skills out of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be Jason. He'll get the T-Rex. Sonic is the only other one that would really be like the breakdancing type. So he'll take Zack's Mastodon.
Okay.
These are tenuous connections.
They are very
best.
Yeah.
Silver gets the saber-toothed tiger because Big's a bigger nerd and gets the... No, Silver's definitely the bigger nerd than Big. What am I talking about? Yeah. Triceratops. Yeah. So Big has to get saber-toothed tiger by default. Sorry.
Well,
Trini.
I mean, it's a cat. And he's a cat.
Cats like fishing, I guess.
He's a cat. He gets the cat. So who's the Green Ranger? Who comes in?
Knuckles.
Who comes in later? Oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense because he starts out. Yeah, he doesn't start. He starts out against them and then joins them.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
He's gonna play the mystic melody like a flute, and then we're gonna get a big old chaos style dragon Zord out of the water. Fan artists, your job now is to draw Knuckles in the Green Ranger outfit. He's gonna look ballin' with that golden armor.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time he was green.
Oh Lord, why'd you have to ruin it?
Daggers are not flutes. This show makes no sense. That's the point. It's not supposed to make sense. And we got one here from MSF. Is it just Mimic or is it Mimic the Octopus?
Is it just Sonic or is it Sonic the Hedgehog? Is it just Knuckles or is it Knuckles the Echidna? It's Mimic the Octopus.
Or maybe it's Ogilvy.
No.
Maurice Hedgehog. You don't know.
Kyle.
No. I'm getting real... I guess I'm real spicy this episode for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Tone it down. Tone down the spice. Pour some milk on that.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop, buddy. Here's one from Miles D. per hour. I have a question, Mr. Flynn. Bunny Rabbit and Nicole, the HoloLinks. What would happen if they got the metal virus? Could they get the metal virus in the first place?
Nicole wouldn't, because metal virus doesn't infect inorganic things. And she's inorganic.
Rude.
Fact.
I know, I'm joking.
Bunny was very tenuously slated as kind of like one of the linchpins for turning things around. Because the very, very early concept was that while her organic half could be infected, her mechanical half would not, and it would retain enough of her will running through it that she could endure despite the fact.
Wow.
I wasn't sure if that made a ton of sense, if that would be too complicated or ethereal a concept to really work, but that was what was kind of like drafted in my head. And that she would be kind of crucial to however it was we were going to resolve it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get any much further than that, but that's what the thought was at the time. Unpitched to anybody, mind you. This is a cut idea. This wasn't even an idea. This was just kind of in the margins scribbling as I was thinking things out long ago.
Yeah. Even pre-IDW, so If anybody's like, Bunny wasn't in IDW. Yeah, it's because this concept has been knocking around since time immemorial.
Yep.
All right. Here's one from Dragon's Den of Variety. In your guys' opinion, what should Sonia and Manic's eye colors be if they were to hypothetically be in modern Sonic's world? Interesting.
Well,
maybe yellow for Manic, but
maybe. I was kind of thinking kind of a rich, earthy brown.
Maybe.
Which itself would be kind of a callback to classic Sonic. Knee-jerk reaction is like purple for Sonia to go with the magenta.
Yeah, but she's also got purple in her design, so I mean,
it'd be
maybe
a little monochromatic.
Yeah.
And yellow seems to be, I could be wrong, but I feel like yellow has only shown up for non-mammalian characters.
Well, so
I mean that may not be a standard. That might just be a happenstance. I don't know. Would green stand? Should they all be green? Would they all get that from her mother?
Well, who was
that
their
makes me kind of monochromatic.
Who was their father? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe blue.
Given that one statue, maybe it was King Acorn.
Maybe blue for Sonia or something. I don't know. Silver's eyes are yellow.
Oh, they are? Okay. Silver confirmed for lizard person.
So I'm being told, anyway. Let me double check. See if that's accurate. Yes, it is. Yes, his eyes are yellow. I don't know, man. Like, most of the time I don't pay attention to the eye color, so I'm like, okay. I mentioned Sonic's eyes were green back in the day, and I'm like, oh yeah, guess they are now. All right. And then the whole fandom melted down about it. I like that Knuckles' eyes are purple. It's kind of badass.
Yeah, because that complements the red nicely.
Yes. Offsets him well. It's awesome. I don't know, man. Comment below what you think Sonia and Manic's eye colors would be. Here's a question from Exadel. So, how do Sonic characters' ages work? Do they just age and grow to maturity faster than humans would because of their animal physiology? Otherwise, the world must have been either really brave or really inept to trust a 12-year-old Amy Rose to be the leader of the world restoration following the defeat of Dr. Eggman. See, this is why having defined ages is kind of a dumb. Yeah.
Also, Amy took over the resistance when Eggman had taken over 99% of the world. Probably wasn't a lot of people around to, veto that. And if, they were the one functioning facility or organization after the war, who's going to be around to say, no, we'll do a better job? Nothing. There was no infrastructure at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And, all we really saw was from their perspective. Maybe there are other efforts around the world to build up and restore. I mean, for all we know, Gunn is still out there somewhere doing it their own way. This is the thing is the problem with Sonic Forces is it's a global story without the global scale of the storytelling.
Right.
And, what is the hard and fast canon, as we've seen as of late with Tales Tube, is still evolving. So it's very hard to say.
30 years.
It's very hard to say, well, here's the exception to disprove it. There is nothing to disprove, So it's a very big world. And just because we see a small portion of it in the games or comics doesn't mean there isn't more going on in the rest of the world.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. Maybe they're like Sims ages, You got baby, you got child, you got teen, you got adult, and you got old. Maybe that's how it is. It's just
that would work.
It's just a hard cutoff, All of a sudden, you're no longer a child anymore, and you transform into a teen version because magic. Sims is weird. Here's one from Sheriff Mauser. What kind of equipment do you think Eggman usually has on hand? Does he always have at least a jetpack and a laser gun like in the games, such as Lost World? Or do you think he decides his huge mechs will be enough most of the time?
I imagine he's got some personal equipment at all times. Like, as you mentioned, that jetpack.
But Ian, he doesn't plan ahead. Ever. Like, what the heck? Why would he?
That's not planning ahead. That's standard edition. That's like grabbing your keys out of the tray.
Well, I mean, he's got like...
He's going out for milk. He's got to get his Eggmobile. He's got to get his jetpack, and he's got to pack some heat. That's just what you do. Well, that's not a plan. That's a routine.
Well, I mean, that's still some form of planning, and he never plans. If you ask some people, if you ask some people what you said one time, and only that ever with no context. Anyway.
I also really like the idea that he still has those like super analytical glasses from 06.
Oh yeah.
Those are fantastic. I will fight tooth and nail to ensure that those remain canon.
I do like those. Yeah. His design in 06 is pretty cool, honestly. Oh well. We have one last question to take us out this week. It comes to us courtesy of Warehouse Dave. How are people supposed to have money to donate to you without having a job to earn an income?
Yeah, it's pretty rough for some folks.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, well, that's the reality of the situation we live in, fortunately.
I mean, if you do not have gainful employment, or if you do, but your budget is super tight, do not break the bank on us by any means.
No, like, please.
There's a reason why we put this show out for free. You know, the folks who are able to support us at Patreon, at Ko-fi, and with the super chats and all that, I'm assuming that they have that income to burn and they're being generous with it. I really hope they are not putting themselves behind the eight ball for our sake. No, that's no good. So, and that's why, you know, we're open to all questions all the time. At the same time, we have to pay our own bills. So if there are folks who do want to take advantage of the incentives and give us money, we can't say no. I mean, Bumblecast has actually become a pretty critical part of our monthly lives here. So
yes, it absolutely has, and thank you for that. It's kind of amazing.
I mean, I don't like that we've fallen so behind on the standard queues myself, and we're looking at ways to catch up on that fits with my schedule. Because, you know, as fun as it is to trot out all those knowing smiles, that is a lot of different contracts to follow up on, and those contracts are not, you know, usually an hourly gig. They're not a daily job. It's you turn in your timesheet at the end of the month and hope that adds up. It is not by any means a stable income. So, you know, what we can bring in, that's great. And we appreciate all the support that we get. But if you are not in a position to support, then don't. Well, and no hard feelings whatsoever. The fact that you're listening to the show is a contribution enough, because it drives up the metrics.
Right. Listening to the show, you know, you get entertained, and we get, you know, people get more exposure to it by, you know, gaming the YouTube algorithm and, you know, all that. It's, you know, the best way, I think, to support us is just spread the show. Tell people about it. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell our enemies. Not like they'll listen, but, you know, hey, worth a shot.
I mean, if you are a patron, or if you have contributed to Ko-fi regularly and you find yourself that you can't for whatever reason, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Cancel the subscription. Limit what you're contributing.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do to get by, that's cool by us.
Yeah. Yep. You can, if you're a patron, you can limit your monthly payout, so you're not paying every week. So, by the way, if you're a patron, check into that, because it's true. The Bumble Boys don't want you to know, but it's true. You don't have to actually pay us every week. It's not required. So, anyway, yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that you may not be in the position to give us any sort of money, but we're trying to also ask as many questions from as many folks as we can who are reasonable and nice. So, you know, if you're nice and you're patient, hopefully we'll get to your question eventually. So, anyway, that's it, I think.
Yep. With all that in mind, we are going to say thank you to the folks who do sponsor the show and help us produce this every week. Now that we're up to 3 episodes a week.
Help us produce it multiple times a week, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, who knows? If we can get through all the patron questions fast enough, maybe we can start doing 3 episodes a week and do 2 standards.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Anyway, we have to give a big thank you to all the people who make this show possible. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Holmes, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Mike B., Copeland Crew 128, DK, Duas Dizdin, Dave M., Andrew D., Off, Salute Your Cat, Jay Frost, Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Sony, Hero Flight 13, John M., Noni, Ryan D., Jib, Don B., Yami M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Chevelle, Blue Title Gamer, Fiona M., Ben W., Tick Tick, Final Neil, Xander Under the Painter, Jonathan D., Fire Red XY, Nimerica, Solaris Stain, Daddler the Dalek, Godzilla, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daniel B., Pedanti Cat, The Name is X, Dove, Red the Supernamic, Axis Pandolce, Quaggle Gaggle, Chad, Ava Arctic, Jennifer H., Scurvy Pirate Hog, Les, Professor Rye, Preston M., Cameron H., Sapphire Scarletta, Alphamon or Yukina, Noah S., Chase L., Red W., Kojiro Highwind, Joey the Sonic Fan, Awesome Cakester, Kimiko, Radry, Callum Q, Just a Mountain Soul, John the Real Waluigi, Owen BD, Alex 120, Ty H., Maddie H. N. Zephyr, KJB, T. Ranger Crooker, and Tails, Dreamboatin, Mox, Lewis J. DeRussiful, 4 Sonic Fan, Finest Cacophony, Techno Cinema, The Marble Gardener, Arc Fighter, Goosey Tante, Agent Kaz, Lacey M, Unlikely Veronica, Michael P, Spiral Warrior, Shaggy Dog, Jack the Animator, Ty Cyan, Nondull, Rhythm Raccoon, Damian B, Hedgie, The Cartoonist, Lemon Yuri, and Idira.
Big thank you to me. I did it. It's me.
I made this.
It wasn't me. Thank you, KL Sonic 1. That's very kind of you. What if I went to give money to 2 great people? Well, I'm glad you think we're great. Weird, but okay, I'll take it. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that. I'm not going to ask. All right.
So that's going to wrap us up for this episode of the Bumblecast. We will see you Monday for more Patreon-sponsored Q&A. Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time.
And we will see ya. Have a good weekend, everybody. Unless you're listening to this on not Friday, then fine, don't have a good weekend. Gosh, see if I care. 'Tis I what keeps Kyle off the streets. I mean, kinda.
This is your Kyle. This is your Kyle on drugs. Questions.
There were a few Kyles on drugs when I went to school. I was not one of them. But, yeah, there were a few other Kyles. Yeah, they were kind of jerks. I don't know what it is. What it is about Kyle? What's about Kyle and being a jerk?
You're the only Kyle I've ever known.
Weird. Strange. Apparently, I'm also the only Kyle Jennifer's ever known. It's funny, because I went to school with, like, 3 others. I had 3 others in high school. And, I mean, actually, sometimes they were decent, and sometimes they were kind of jerks. But, you know, high school is that way sometimes, to be fair. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. All right, you're back. Cool.
Back.
You have returned to life.
Hey, kitten.
Squeak, squeak.
Did that one come through?
Yeah, that one sounded like just a squeaky door.
Yeah, that's what you do. Maybe plug that one into the other episode since...
Squeaky.
Hear that? Yep.
A little bit.
All right.
Squeaky.
She settled down.
Squeaky,
You're
squeaky,
recording?
squeaky. Yep, I'm ready.